Texas. Its mystique is unique. It's like a country itself, an animal lover's paradise, home of the original cowboys. In Texas, you can drive all day and never see another person. Throughout the world, Texas has a quality that captures the imagination. When one thinks of Texas, they think big and exaggerated. Maybe it's because Texans are a little crazy, a little brazen, and really proud. Introducing Texas Wild Explorers, an exciting look at what makes up Texas. Wild and untamed, Texas has never been seen like this.
Welcome to another edition of Texas Wild Explorers. I'm your host, T.R. Stevens. Stick around with me for the next half hour. We're going to take you on a tour of Texas. Now, right now, we're along the Gulf Coast here. This is the Gulf of Mexico, our connection to the rest of the world. Each year, the beaches in Texas, they can erode anywhere from 100 feet in some places to thousands of yards in others. And I'm not kidding, but that's a whole different story. We're looking for some wildlife out here, and I'm going to show you something that's kind of interesting here. See if we can find it. Where did he go? Where did he go? Here it is, right over here. Woo! Let me show you this. Oh yeah, this is a very common sight in the state of Texas. Now you notice I'm not touching that with my hands because this here is a jellyfish. And you see these things? These are tentacles. Very, very poisonous. In some cases, this thing from these, boy, whoo! You'd be thinking you were hit by 1,000 hornets. Anyway, it could wind you up in a hospital. But these jellyfish wash up on the coastlines of Texas pretty much all year round. However, during the summer, there are periods when literally you cannot get in the water without finding one of these jellyfish here. There you go, a Texas jellyfish. And this one is a doozy. And you know what? He's just beginning to smell a bit ripe. Anyway, we're gonna head out and we're gonna look for ourselves some animals on this thing. They say there's diamondback terrapins around this area, and we're gonna find them. Look what we have here. Let's see if we can get this little guy. This here would be your Texas diamondback terrapin. These little guys are native to the Gulf Coast region, as we are here in Freeport, Texas. You'd find them just walking along the beach here. These little critters can really scoot across the road. Take a look at this little guy. He's about to bite me here. He's trying his best. Let's see if we can get him to do it. There we go. He's just gonna take off my finger if he likes it. Now, one thing that makes these little terrapins native and unique to Texas, you zoom in real close here, you're gonna see these guys have mustaches. See that little mustache there? They kind of make him look like he's a Frenchman, huh?
Hey, oui, how are you? I am fine. You too?
And there you go, Texas diamondback terrapin. Beautiful little animal. Animal you'll only find here on the Gulf shores of Texas. All right, buddy, go along.
From the shores of the Gulf of Mexico to the Guadalupe Mountains of the West, with lush forests and arid deserts in between, each week Texas Wild Explorers will bring the viewer into this land of the strange, different, and wild. Each episode of Texas Wild Explorers is hosted by veteran conservationist T.R. Stevens, who brings his pet prairie dog Stitch along to give a perspective that only an animal can appreciate. Todd's little buddy is fitted with a camera that gives viewers a look into a different world. The Stitch Cam can go places and look at animals that a human can't see. And that's only part of it. The show explores the lore of Texas wildlife and the explorers that make it an experience.
Well, this here's my good buddy, Stitch Stevens, and Stitch here is a Texas blacktail prairie dog. There's basically about two types of prairie dogs. Like Texas, Stitch is a lot bigger than your average prairie dog. Call him the blacktail, hence that's the reason why his little hind end looks black right here. Well, hold on there, Stitch. You're going a little nuts on me. As you notice about prairie dogs, now if you could take a look here, I'm gonna show you his paws. They've got some real long, mean looking claws here. These prairie dogs build themselves little burrows and they live in things we call towns. And like Texas, they're pretty darn big. In fact, one prairie dog town, the largest one ever, was measured at 25,000 square miles, and it had more than 400 million prairie dogs wandering around there. That's a lot of yiping and barking. These are very social animals. They usually live with all their brothers, sisters, relatives, cousins, uncles, you name it. And they're very, very social animals. So you need to play with your prairie dog just every day. Now, I know your dad probably told you not to do that. Let's see if Stitch can go to his cage. There he goes. That little sucker's gonna climb up there. He'd close the door if he could. Stitch, you ready to go to bed? There you go. This is a prairie dog cage, by the way, and this is kind of what they look like here. This cage here was built for ferrets because some foolhardy person thought they'd be the wonderful pet here in America. But nowadays you can use those cages for prairie dogs. They've got to have some room. If I had more than one prairie dog in a cage, I'd probably want something about twice this size. It's got 2 levels where he can go up and down. It's also got his bowl, but he's got some living quarters on top, some living quarters on bottom. He's got his own little saloon right over here where he can get himself a drink. You might wonder why they call these little animals prairie dogs. But you see, out on the prairies, they're called dogs because they actually will bark at each other. And a lot of people think it may sound like one of those little yappy little dogs, but they actually bark at times. It's one of the sounds they make. They also make a sound kind of like you hear in Texas, almost like a yippee. Oh yeah, oh yeah. There you go, that's kind of a yippee there. Come on. Oh yeah, you like that, don't you? A lot of people consider these beautiful little animals nuisances here in Texas, and it's kind of a shame because they don't get to know and love these little critters kind of like I do. So if you're thinking of getting a prairie dog, you can not only get yourself a pet, but you could be saving a species in the long run.
Skewed for an audience for kids 6 to 11, this action-packed look at Texas will intrigue people throughout the world. Texas Wild Explorers is a series that entertains as well as teaches kids about today's environmental issues as they relate to Texas and the rest of the world. Texas Wild Explorers will take you to remote areas where only creatures of the night live, or to the sea where endangered turtles are hatched and released. And with over 1,000 native animals in the 10 ecological regions of Texas, Texas Wild Explorers will always have something new and exciting.
Usually a rattlesnake, if you're going to find one, especially in this time, he may be under one of these things, under a branch like this, or he could be sunning himself. Right now at this time of day, I'm thinking it's not that warm yet, maybe a few hours from now, so we might be able to find him under something like this. Let's see what we can find here. See, we got some dense branches here. Hold on a second. I see something moving over there. Okay, back up. Hold on, everybody back up a bit. All right, I'm gonna need another stick. Throw me a stick over there. We can poke at it for a second. Now keep in mind, we're not gonna hurt him. What we're gonna do, we got something back under here. It looks like it's got a rat. I don't hear any rattling noises on it, but we got something tucked away under here. And you can see by his body shape that he is a pit viper. You can tell that by the head. You can also tell by the pits on the sides of the mouth. They can't really see much real well, but they can certainly sense your body heat. They more or less see like an infrared radar. When you're around them, they see your body heat moving around, and they can zoom in on you. They follow you through their sense of smell and through those pits on the side of their mouth.
Whether it's a horned-toed lizard from the plains, a dolphin from the coastal waters, a longhorn steer on a ranch, or an armadillo running through the woods, Texas Wild Explorers will be there. So if you're looking for an entertaining and different series for your schedule, look to Texas Wild Explorers. It's unique, it's captivating, and entertaining. As T.R. Stevens always says,
Y'all come back now here.